Scott, let's say that I don't have access to your book and I
Mhm.
don't have access to a lot of other things. So where would I find what sells? You had mentioned earlier, go to a Redbox, see what titles are on the front of the...
The front on the lower part, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Front of the lower...
Or that augment big studio titles, yeah. But continue, sorry.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Okay,
Yeah.
so then go to your local Redbox, peruse the titles that are out there in the front.
Mhm.
If that, it's been a while since I've been to a Redbox. So
Yeah.
is that how it's set up, where you have the films right there?
Yeah, I think, look, it's a huge question to say, what should I write? And I do my best to answer that in the easiest way for new writers in my book. And I try to break that down the best I can, but I mean, it's a really big question. And the thing I certainly don't want to see any screenwriters run into is just feeling like they have to blindly guess. I try to answer that in the book, but if you don't have access to the book, the best advice I could give to a screenwriter is, yes, you can go to a Redbox machine. Used to be Blockbuster, but those all turned into cell phone stores. You can go to a Redbox machine, look at the independent films on there. So independent would be the family titles at the bottom. Look for the live action ones, usually with a dog or an animal on them. And then also look at the big studio films that are kind of, throughout the machine you'll see them in different spots. Whatever a big studio film is, look to the ones that are like right next to that. Or get on Netflix and find a big studio movie in the lineup, and then look at the independent movie you've never heard of that's next to it. That's the independent Hollywood zone. That's where I work. Those are the scripts that we're in need of. That's where I think you're going to get your best indicator as to the genres that work, the genre themes you're going to see, the number of cast members, all that information. And another source you could do is, if you have writing experience, if you have a couple of screenplays you're confident in that you think are interesting for Hollywood, I would call up development agents, creative executives. You can find their information in several different sources. LinkedIn or any platform like that is a great way to kind of kickstart it. But contact them and basically say, I'm interested in writing a script. What works, and if it's interesting to you, could I write a treatment and present it to you and then write it for you? You could do that as a scenario and just go direct to the source and write something for them. I mean, I think that's actually the big question a lot of newbie writers have is, how do you get from point A to point B? My whole reasoning for the book was answering that question the best I could. That's information I certainly didn't have about the movie business when I left film school. Nobody really tells you how to bridge that gap of, okay, I don't know anybody, how do I build a career out of anything? Producers in Hollywood they already know what sell. Creative executives in Hollywood, they know what sell. They all have really great ideas. Another way to do it is go try to talk to them and say, look, I want to write scripts. I'm looking to connect with somebody who knows what sells. I'll write whatever script you want me to write. You lead the way. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could, I guess, really figure out what's going to get you some attention.
And that would lead to just an initial 5-minute meeting? I mean, if someone presented themselves professionally on the phone and seemed flexible, would that actually then open the door to, okay, well, we'll meet with you for 5 minutes to see a spec script that you have?
I mean, it's definitely worth a 5-minute call. I think a true producer in Hollywood, somebody who's well connected, a creative executive in Hollywood, if they're working for a company that they're comfortable with, but maybe they're not having that opportunity to work on the stuff that they want to, but they have all the connections you wish you had, that's a great link. And yes, if you went out to them and basically approached them and said, I have 3 scripts of this genre. I would love to present them to you, and I'm not trying to get you to buy these scripts. If you're interested, fantastic, but I'm not trying to get you to buy these. I want to work with somebody and develop something from scratch. You're a creative executive, you know what sells, you have contacts, and I'm sure you have story ideas that you just don't have time to put together. Let me be that fix in your system. I'll get you the script you need, and then we can go hit the marketplace together. And that goes into faking confidence. It's a scary scenario to be in, but if you are able to approach that and basically present that kind of conversation, you will actually see quite a few doors open and a lot of emails answered.
Likability versus raw talent, what percentage do you think gets people a deal?
Talent's important. I think likability is very important. I think persistence and the ability to work hard are the most important. I think likability gets the door open. Likability is a crucial factor in terms of just being able to walk your way into a scenario, get people to listen to you, and take your ideas and your talent seriously. But that's the first part of the equation. It's the most important part of the first step of the equation. But once you have that opportunity presented to you, you have to follow through with a lot of hard work and talent. You can, if you're not 100% confident in your own talent, and no artist ever is, that's where faking confidence kind of comes into play. There's sort of tricks and things you can do to sort of push things more in your favor. I outline that a bit in the book, where I list out all the things that readers hate about spec scripts. And it's basically just an overview of everything that is a turn-off to them. It's an indicator of a writer who just doesn't get what the system needs, and why it's important not to have any of those elements. And they range from everything of too many characters in your script to grammatical errors and things like that. Very fixable things. But if you make sure to get rid of as many of those, you're just weighing more odds in your favor of getting your script taken seriously.
But ultimately, the biggest reason that a script is not seen to fruition, it's not made, what is it usually?
Out of all the spec scripts in Hollywood, the reason it's not made to fruition is just people writing the wrong thing. So there's so many. My view is this: it's like there's this stereotype in Hollywood that there's every other waiter you meet has a screenplay on the side. Every real estate agent's writing something on the side, and in truth, like that's reality. A lot of people come here with big Hollywood dreams and want to write that great screenplay, and people just kind of go, oh, well, they're not talented, they're writing bad scripts. Certainly there's a lot of bad scripts, but at the same time, there's a lot of very talented people who just aren't writing the right things. So they're not writing the right things, they're not writing what Hollywood needs, and they're not presenting their work in the way that it needs to be presented to get doors to open. So if they just shift a few of those elements, if they write what Hollywood needs, which are goldmine genres, as we outline in the book, if they present their ideas in a way Hollywood needs to hear them, which is about pitching your story in a way that is, this is how my script helps your company, this is how my script answers that need in the Hollywood system, and then if you just kind of get yourself out there at the same time, like that's how you really do it. It's not selling a one-off script, it's building a career.